This is just a little intro to the walk. I've stopped at the Talbot bar on the way home to have something to eat and drink. I'm just going to have a walk round to the Skelwith waterfall, Skelwith Fort. Just have a quick look at that while I'm here. So you just want to hang on a few minutes at the end. Don't think it's finished when I get to the car park at Elterwater. It's Monday the 20th of July 2026 and I've come up to the Lake District for the first time in over 12 months, and I'm parking on the National Trust car park here at Elterwater, and the idea today is to do a walk up to Lingmoor Fell. And it's a beautiful morning this morning, really quite warm even at this early stage, around about 9 o'clock-ish, something like that. So I'm looking forward to this one. It's a long time since I've been up here. Alright, let's get off and see how we go on this one. This is the lovely little bridge here at Elterwater, which I'll be going over at the start of the walk. I've just turned off the path here by the Eltermere Inn, and I'm making my way up this little lane here. As I said, it is a really beautiful morning this morning, and the forecast is for it to stay that way, hopefully. This is a rather rough path coming up here, and a little steep to get the heart pumping at the start of the walk. Right, well that's the first little uphill stretch done. Hopefully I've got a nice gentle walk now before I start the climb up onto Lingmoor Fell proper. This path is still rather rough, and it hasn't been as flat as I hoped or remembered, but hopefully it's going to flatten out shortly as I get through this gate here. Right, well, underfoot conditions have improved considerably. The one good point about coming up that track was you had the shelter from the sun from the trees in the wood on the right, but now that's not there anymore. But I've got some lovely views now ahead of me. Everything's starting to open up. So yeah, should be a nice little gentle walk now until I get to the start of the climb up onto the fell. Fingers crossed. And here is the view we get from the first bend in this path. Having come to the end of the flat bit, I'm going to turn off right here through this gate, and this is where the grunt and groan start the climb up onto Lingmoor Fell. We've had temperatures in the mid-20s to high 20s for the last week or more. It's supposed to be a little cooler today, but it feels quite warm at the moment, so this could be a bit of a sweaty one up here. If memory serves, this path has a few twists and turns on the way up, but here's another gate to get through. Well, this path is going from rather overgrown in places to very overgrown in other places. But I can see how much elevation I've gained, and the view here is quite superb. It's a little torn down here. I would imagine in spring, winter, autumn time, when the brackens died back, it is a decent path up here, albeit steep. But at the moment, no, the bracken's in full bloom, so it makes it rather difficult. But I think I'm heading for the corner of the wall up ahead, if memory serves. There's the wall I'm referring to, just about the middle of the picture perhaps. May just drift away a little from it. You just excuse the heavy breathing. Yeah, the path, as I thought, does come away from the wall about 20-30 yards on the right of the wall, and it comes up in a series of zigzags, and while it's still very, very steep, it takes a little bit of the burden off. So I'm going to carry on now up here and hoping it may just level out a little further up. I've just got a very brief, and I do mean very brief, spell of level walking at the moment. And there's a beautiful view out there to the Langdale Pikes. Just a slight word of caution to anyone who's thinking of doing this walk or coming up to Elsiewater to do a walk. The car park is a National Trust car park, and for being a member I got to park for free, but I don't know exactly how much it is to park otherwise. If I haven't got too much brain starvation, when I get back I'll have a look if I remember. And also at the moment the public toilets, which are at the side of the car park, are also closed. Sorry for the inconvenience, no pun intended. But there are a couple of portaloos there. I use one of those, never used a portaloo in my life. It took me quite a while to work out how to flush it. So that's just a little word of warning. But off to the left of the path here, on the left is Wetherlam, and just across from that on the right is the Old Man of Coniston. I'm sure somebody will point that out if I'm wrong, but that's what I think they are. Well, that's a hell of a climb up there, and I haven't finished yet. But here is a smashing little bench. I'll sit here for a few minutes. I'm sure at one time when we came up here, we approached it head on. I don't remember coming around the corner and seeing it. Well, it's a shame it's not in the shade, but at least you can enjoy a break and a lovely view as well. And this is the view from the cairn in front of the bench. So I'll just have a few minutes here and a cold drink before I set off uphill yet again. Ice cold water frozen in the freezer overnight. Right, we're back on the up again, but at least there's a nice cool breeze blowing now, and that gives a little bit of relief from the sun. That's the path I've just come along, and I've come up onto this little outcrop on the left. And this is the 360 view from here. I think you'll agree that's pretty special. Coming round to the Langdale Pikes. And across over here, centre is Lingmoor Fell, Just off to the left, the crinkles. That was probably a bit of unnecessary climbing, but a little bit. And I think the views from up there were pretty spectacular and had to be seen. Right, on to the next climb. Actually going downhill at the moment, goodness me. Just about the middle of the picture, towards the top, is the little outcrop I was just stood on a few minutes ago. And I've come down, walked along by the wall on the right, and up to where I am now. And I'm about to rejoin the wall on the right now. As you can see from the wall, the path alongside it is a bit of a switchback. It's funny how time distorts your mind, so to speak. I know it's a long time since we came up here, but I always remember, as I said, the stone seat coming directly head on to it, which we didn't. And I remember this path as being just a straight one along by the wall, which it isn't. You keep coming out away from the wall and then rejoining it. So yeah, it's been an interesting walk to now. And not the same as I remember. And here's another rather stiff climb up. These action cameras distort the view. Never looks quite as steep as it actually is. And here you are, all of a sudden, on the summit of Lingmoor Fell. Just going to climb over this steps down ahead. There we go. And this is a view from the summit of Lingmoor Fell. And the path onwards runs on by the wall on the left. Well, that's Lingmoor Fell done and dusted. I've just got the dubious pleasures of the fat man's agony to come now. More about that later. This path between Lingmoor Fell and Side Park is quite tricky. There's a few difficult little drops. It's very uncomfortable underfoot. There's a fence at the side which you can steady yourself on, but just be careful, the top bit is all barbed wire. So yeah, it's a bit of care needs to be taken coming down here. And just in the bottom here is Lingmoor Tarn. You can actually get down there, but I'm not going to do that today. And yet again we have another awkward little climb up here. This might require grabbing onto the fence, as it does. Yeah, not easy. And when I said be careful of the barbed wire, that's what I meant. Just take a little scratch out my arm. To attend to that in a minute. Yeah, it doesn't go on for very long, but it's a tough little section, is that? Right, come to a bit of a crossroads here. So I need to get down and follow the wall down there over to Side Park. There is Bleed Tarn down the bottom. And that's yet another tricky little section. You need to have your wits about you coming down there. Get your hands on the wall as well, help yourself down. Hopefully the rest of this bit will go a bit smoother. And there's another really tricky section coming down here. So although Lingmoor Fell isn't the highest of the Wainwrights, it's tricky enough. Just be careful. And that's when I was looking at having to come down by the wall and the fence. But where I last filmed, there's a path branches off to the right and circles round. It comes down here to reach this point. So yeah, that's probably the easier way, actually, the one I took. And you get to this steps down here and climb over there. And then there's a grassy path along the bottom for some way. Up there is where I've dropped down from, and I'm now making my way over to Side Pike. That's getting a little closer now. Closer still when you zoom in. But as I said, I've got the little tricky section coming up before I can get up there. Right, I'm just below Side Pike now, and I think this is the point where you can bail out if you don't want to go up there. There's a bit of a crossroads here. I'll just have a look and walk down here and have a see. Yes, I think this path takes you down to the road. It's a rather steep drop, but yeah, you can perhaps just see the path in the bottom there. It'll take you down there. As I said, I'm going up to Side Pike this morning, hopefully. So we'll crash on. Right, I'm just at the foot of Side Pike, and behind me I think there's another place you could bail out also. Another steep drop down, but if you go down by the fence, that'll also take you down to the road, I would imagine. So yes, let's get through this stile here and get up. Right, I'm coming up to the section which is rather unkindly known as Fat Man's Agony. This here. So you've got to take your bag through first and then come through afterwards, so that's what I'll do. Right, here we go. Here goes nothing. As I said, the bag's got to go through first, and then you've got to squeeze through after. And it's as easy or as difficult as that. I don't think for a minute this camera will pick them up, but there's some people down there on the path that I said go straight down from the stile I came to. Just going past a tree now. So here I am on the summit of Side Pike. I've never been up here before. I've been past it several times, below it and what have you, around this area. Never been up it, so I can chalk that one off now. And yeah, what a superb view from here. Down to Bleatorn, to Pike of Lisco, Crinkles, Lingmoor Fell, and the Langdales. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. I was going to have my lunch up here, but there's too many flies buzzing around, so I may go down to Bleatorn now and have it there. Whew, well, am I glad to be down off that path. That was pretty horrendous. Coming down that way, you need lots of concentration and definitely long legs. So I'm afraid if you're not of the persuasion that enjoys scrambling down a fell side and you haven't got long legs, I would bail out as soon as possible, to be honest. I wouldn't go up to Side Pike. Yeah, it was very, very rough all the way down. I was on my backside a few times, sometimes deliberately, other times not quite. But yeah, there were a few long stretches as well where the long legs came in handy. So if you're not very adventurous, definitely do not come down that way. But yeah, look at this. So I'm just a few yards now from the road. I'm going to make my way down there and have a walk round to Bleatorn. I will have to come back this same way when I've been to Bleatorn. Probably the shortest way back. I could go around and up onto the road, but that's a bit longer. But I couldn't miss an opportunity to go and sit by Bleatorn. It's one of my favourite places in the Lake District. And it's got an absolutely beautiful view. So I couldn't miss that. I'm just on my way to Bleatorn, but off on the left there is a Side Pike. It's like a huge shark's fin. Very, very prominent. So that's where I've come from, over the tops there. A little behind there probably. As I said, I'm approaching Bleatorn, but I want to get down to the far end because that's where the best view is. Right, I'm just walking around the Bleatorn now, and at last we've got a little bit of shade and some relief from the sun. Right, so here I am, the far end of Bleatorn. Can't actually see the torn just yet, but I get over this little bridge along the path a little way, and then I'm going to sit and have some lunch and enjoy the view. This is a bench that Barbara and I sat on several times to enjoy the view. So as I said, I'm going to sit here and have some lunch, and then I'll make my way back. And that's the view we used to get from here, looking across, as I say, to the Langdale Pikes. That's quite special, as I said. It's one of my favourite views. It's not my favourite view in the Lake District. This is a little further along the track and gives you a better view than sitting on the bench. But unfortunately there aren't any benches along here. So having spent some little time here, I'm going to move on now. I'm going to go back to where I came, the bottom of Side Pike, came off there and make my way down into Langdale. But yeah, it's been lovely around here today. And nice to see a lot of people out as well, especially, even though it's a Monday. People enjoying swimming in the tarn. Right, this is where I came down off Side Pike. This is where I finished and turned left to go down to the gate here. This time I'm going to go back and I'm effectively turning right, and this path takes you down by the road. I want to walk all the way down the road. I think it's a little bit longer and it's obviously busier. This path takes you for about half a mile or so down to the campsite in Langdale. I was planning to go down that way as far as the campsite, but I think there may be a path off before I get there, which will take me across the fields and eventually to Oak Howe and Bays Brown. But we'll see. That'll save me having to go right down into Langdale and through the fields near the old Dungeon Gill Hotel. This is some view though. The campsite I was referring to is just down below these trees here. But there is a little path off to the right here, which may take me where I want to go. As I said, it could save me quite a little way. Let's have a look where it goes. I'm hoping that this path will take me over to Side House Farm, which is the next point along the way. We shall see. If it doesn't, well, I'll have to find another way. There's the campsite down below. Right, down here is the Side House Farm, and had I gone the way I intended, I would have had to go right down to the campsite, past that, over the road, and walk through the fields between the old Dungeon Gill car park and the Stickleborn car park. So that saved me a little way. I'd had to come up there. There's a path, a track comes up to the farm from the road. Had to come up there. So yeah, that saved me quite some way. Right, just over this little ridge, and I think I need to be down. There's a path down there. Yeah, this path seems to lead down by this last building here. Turn right at the bottom. Right, another uphill climb now. Just what I need. And I'm heading for Oak Howe. Yet again, my dim and distant memories are deceiving me. I thought the walk back from Side House Farm to, well, pretty much to Elsiewater was all flat. It's anything but at the moment. So I'm just wondering what other surprises await me. Yeah, well, that was nice. I've just bumped into half a dozen people or so from Belgium who were doing the Cumbria Way, and then just after that another couple also doing the Cumbria Way. So yeah, they've got a lovely day, a lovely week for it. The last couple I was speaking to stopping at the old Dungeon Gill Hotel tonight, so that's very nice. But yeah, it's nice when you bump into people like that and they're willing to spend a few minutes talking to you, especially when they're not from around here, from abroad and what have you. I took a photograph of the people from Belgium, and yeah, very nice. I enjoyed a chat with them. I'm just passing Oak Howe, the buildings here. Just a couple of miles to go now, I believe. So this has been abandoned long ago. Yeah, 1 3/4 miles to Chapel Stile, and then a little bit further on there to Elsiewater. Let's go. Some lovely hills up in front of me here. Goodness me, well, I'm not going up there, and that's looking back down the valley to the Langdale Pikes and what have you. And there's a lovely breeze up at the moment, just taking the edge off the heat, and that is very welcome. The next stop is Bays Brown. I'm just passing through Bays Brown now. L2 Auto 1 mile. There's also a campsite here at Bays Brown, and the path down here takes you down to join the Cumbria Way. Bit of a blow, I just realised I've lost my microphone. So if anyone finds a little Insta360 mic air microphone between Oak Howe and Bays Brown, it's mine. So I guess that's another visit to Amazon. Can't believe that. This is a very pleasant last mile of the walk, going through the woods here. And although I've had a really good day, thoroughly enjoyed the day, it hasn't been a successful one in some ways. I've lost my microphone, I lost a bottle of water somewhere out of the side pockets of my backpack, somewhere, goodness knows where. No matter, I could probably go home and lose the car. But never mind, it's been a lovely day. Can't complain about the weather, been absolutely marvellous weather, a little too warm if anything, but so what? And I'm tired now. I'm ready for putting my feet up. May even stop on the way home and get a pint and have something to eat. We'll see. Right, well, having come down this path here, I've arrived at the path which I took out at the start of the walk. So it's just a matter now of retracing my steps back into L2 Auto and the finish of the walk. Just passing L2 Auto Hall now. And yes, I've enjoyed this walk, thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been tough, much tougher than I thought it would be. Mind you, last time I did it was quite a while ago, and I was a lot younger and a lot fitter then, so that could have something to do with it. That and the fact that we didn't go up to Side Pike on that walk, and that was the toughest part of the walk, I think, coming down from there. Even getting up there, it's quite tough. So, but yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. Had a beautiful day, no complaints whatsoever. I hope you've enjoyed it as well, and if you have, please give it a thumbs up and a like, and perhaps consider subscribing to the channel. It certainly helps. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you hopefully in the not too distant future on the next one. Hi. I promised that I would film the parking costs at the end of the walk. I have remembered. £9.50 all day. Skelwith Forest is just round the corner from the Talbot Bar. It's a nice little walk through the woods here to get to Skelwith Forest waterfall, especially at this time of night when it's a little cooler. It's not the easiest to get down here, but there is a way down, the little bridge down there. And there we go, Skelwith Forest.